Okay, so the last portion of the roof is the ridge, vent, caps, but specifically the ventilation. So we'll talk a little bit about that because it is one of the most overlooked, but one of the most important facets to a full roof system. So all attic spaces need to breathe. And the reason that is, most people, they'll call us all the time and say, hey, you know, can you come install a vent at my house because my attic is so hot? So ventilation in a roof system is not for temperature control, it is for moisture control. So just like we talked about earlier with the condensation behind the shingles, you can also create condensation in those non-conditioned spaces like your attic. So same thing, when we get these major temperature swings from 90 to 40 degrees, you know, Virginia, we're classic for craziness like that, you're gonna get a dew point in that attic space. Proper ventilation in a roof system is there, so anytime that you get that condensation, anytime you get that higher moisture content, that moisture is allowed to dry out and escape. If not, it continues to build on itself. It can create mold issues in your attic space. It can also damage the roof deck that obviously this entire roof system is reliant upon. So to make sure that you get the most out of your roof system, you really have to make sure that your ventilation is proper. It's also one of the easiest ways to get a failure from a manufacturer's perspective. If they show up, you have a problem, they see that you don't have good enough ventilation, they'll say, you know, sorry, you didn't ventilate it well or whatever. It's a very easy out. So we're gonna make sure, just like everything that we've done here, we've gone above and beyond, make sure that we've done everything to manufacturer specification, so that way you have ironclad warranties and you really don't have any issues in the first place. So let's talk about that ventilation. So the ideal scenario for ventilation in a roof system is for air to go in under here. This is your soffit. So then the overhang of the roof from the exterior wall and the roof itself, you'll have ventilation in here. So air goes in here, it runs along the roof deck underneath into the attic and then out the top of the roof. It's called a passive ventilation system or a gravity-fed ventilation system. As that thing heats up, that heat rises, it pulls air in and it pulls air out the top. So the way that we achieve that, one, is from soffit ventilation. Almost all homes are going to already have pre-existing soffit ventilation. If they don't, that is something that we can install. But almost always you're going to have that soffit ventilation. So that's not anything we have to worry about. Now, getting the air out of the top. There are several different ways to do that, but the best, most effective, and most cosmetic version of that is called a ridge vent. And so that's what this is. This is a ridge vent. So it's a plastic louvered piece of material with fabric in there so bugs and snow and stuff can't blow its way in. And this goes at the ridge line, at the peak of the roof, at the very top. This portion of the roof right here, the very top, that is your ridge, and that's a ridge vent. So the way that works is you see the plywood comes up to both sides. Along the ridge, we cut back an inch and a half on each side of that ridge to create essentially an open gap at the ridge line. This ridge vent would then go down over top of that ridge, and then you would get some caps, which I have here somewhere. Let's see, what'd I do with them? Nope, they're right here. Completely out of the way. So maybe we'll edit out me looking, maybe we won't. Like I said, we want this to be completely informal. We're not Hollywood actors here, we're just roofers. So we will then run the caps over top of the ridge vent that gets nailed on each side. You see it has that tar strip there to seal. And then the next one comes down to cover that, so on and so forth across that ridge. Obviously this mock-up doesn't really have a ridge that you can see. So, I mean, we do have a little small ridge right here, but we're not gonna, getting the camera up there to see it, it's kind of a non-starter. So you get the idea. That ridge vent goes down over the top and the caps go on top of it. That allows the ventilation to move in through the soffit, along the roof deck, and out that ridge vent, constantly giving you that ventilation that you need. So once that is installed, then we're going over the entire roof after that to make sure no random nails are left behind. We're making sure that all the gutters are cleaned out. And then the final step of that is literally just cleaning the ground up. I mean, you can see, maybe pan down and see the little mess I've made here just doing this little mock-up. We make sure that everything is cleaned up to where, you know, the idea is we don't want you to even know that we've been there, other than the brand new roof that's on your house. That'll be very visible and you'll be very happy with. So we're gonna move in. I'll tear this stuff off, get all of our mock-up, but thank you so much for joining us for the video series. Please let me know if there's anything that we can do on our end to make this a smoother process for you guys to understand. We're very communicative. Like I said, this is not AI doing this. It's all people in our office, roof experts. So you can call us with anything that we could be doing better. Please let us know. But like I said, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the opportunity to earn your business.